Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tom Worth Jr. Couple of things to discuss today. One is the clowns in charge of the Doge clowns, tech entrepreneurs, very wealthy people who never need to worry about incomes for the rest of their lives. Talking about, really the plan is just what Musk's plan always is to fire people. Ramaswamy's plan is to do the same. He's actually talked about mass firings in the government for a long time now. One of his more genius statements was just look at the Social Security numbers, and if your last digit is even or odd, that would determine whether you get axed or not. And then with the half that are left, look at the first digit of their number. And then that being odd or even would determine whether they are fired or not. And this is two things. This is neither of them ever doing any analysis, doing any preparation, doing any research. They're just total seat of the pants people. This is why you get lunatic suggestions like this. They don't have to worry about anything. And if something, and his statement was nothing would break. Okay. If something breaks, he doesn't care. He doesn't even have an official role. And he also has no official power. But they do have the ear of the incoming president. And the aim of their moves is to give more power to Donald Trump, to remove government employees, giving more executive power to the executive, which is Trump. But you can't just do that. You can't just fire a lot of people because they have rights and there would be lawsuits. So he claims by doing it this way that this would avoid lawsuits because mass layoffs are okay. They're not protected because they can't be considered political retribution, whereas if you just said, hey, you're fired, well, then the person could claim, well, they're firing me for a reason. Again, that's never stopped Donald Trump. But my question is, what is a senator? What is a representative? What is a congressperson? Aren't they government employees? Would they like this plan? Elon Musk hates the Congress. Congress is who brings him in to testify about things. Congress is who holds him to account. Congress is who tries to enact or enforce regulations against him and his companies. He does not like Congress. He would like Congress itself to be done away with. So if you're a congressperson, aren't you thinking, where does this lead? I know the Democrats would, and surely the Republicans will as well. If you're getting rid of a lot of government employees, where are you on that list, Senator so-and-so? I don't know. I know Musk wouldn't like you to be there. I know that he hated flying in from California and he hates flying in from Texas to testify in a Senate hearing or a House committee hearing. It's just an inconvenience to them, and it is an inconvenience. I don't blame them for hating that, but they would love nothing more than to not have these government agencies holding them to account, regulating them, enforcing restrictions and rules and laws. That's why they want to get rid of all these people. If you just indiscriminately get rid of everyone, then who's going to not only make the laws, but who's going to enforce the laws? You won't have enough people to be able to do that. So that's why I don't think that they're actually going to be able to do a lot of what they're trying to do. I think at some point these Congress people are going to wise up and curtail their efforts. Another thing that I think the Congress people are going to do is, I didn't think this at first. You know, those first few days when Trump was just throwing haymaker after haymaker with his cabinet positions, and most of us thought that the Senate would just lay down or vacate, go into recess, so they wouldn't have any say in it at all. It sounds like that may not be the case. That at least in the case of Matt Gaetz, especially Matt Gaetz, because remember, he came from the House of Representatives, and he resigned from the House of Representatives ostensibly to be named to this cabinet pick, but it looks more and more like it was purely to avoid the release of the House committee that investigated him. And that report has been leaked or hacked or whatever, so it's just a matter of time before we know everything that's in it. We already know he had sex with a 17-year-old, and we already know about the illicit drug allegations. I don't really know what more we're going to get out of this other than the salacious details. And I mean, I think we are entitled to them. These were our tax dollars at work doing this investigation. And the thing that most of Trump's nominees have in common is sexual assault or sexual violence or underage sex or sex trafficking allegations. These people all cheat on their wives. Most of them are married multiple times. They don't usually wait till they get divorced to start up with the next one. That is the thing they have in common. And all I can figure is that's Trump's biggest weakness is all the sex stuff, all of his impropriety through the decades, and that he just wants to have something over these guys. And I think this is a way, like, if you bring someone squeaky clean in there, they would never get a sniff from Trump. He doesn't want anyone who's good. He doesn't want anyone who's going to obey the law, anyone who... that's not what he's interested in. He's only looking for people that are more despicable than he is. That's your only qualification. That's your only requirement to be a part of his cabinet, is that you are worse than he is in some way. You've tried to steal, you've cheated on people, you've assaulted people, whatever it is. You've committed fraud, maybe throw in a bankruptcy for good measure. I don't know. But that seems to be the only overriding requirement for his picks. And I think these senators might, I think they might, because they might push back because they don't want, they look at themselves as the upper chamber. They look at themselves as better than the House of Representatives, which is where Matt Gaetz came from. And all he is an arsonist. He tries to burn everything down. And he did that in the House of Representatives. He single-handedly got the Speaker of the House kicked out. Like that hadn't happened before. Matt Gaetz orchestrated that. And if you're a senator, why would you bring in a guy who does that? Wouldn't you think, wow, he might try to do that here, and wow, Trump would probably support him, and hey, so would Musk. Like, you would not want that guy running around your chamber. And I think there's just real pushback on this, that Trump is having to call these senators personally and try to twist their arm, and he's having no luck, supposedly. Now, it's still early part of January before these hearings would take place, if there are Senate hearings for these people. It happens before inauguration. The Congress, I believe, gets seated a few days into January, and the Senate can work on this stuff. But I don't think these senators want a guy like that in their cherished Senate. So that's encouraging. It would just be awesome to have these people stand up to Trump before he even gets inaugurated. Just show some backbone. It only takes, I think, 4 of them. But what if there's 10 or 20? That would be pretty amazing. And we already know that 2 years from now, it's going to be real close. A third of them will be up for re-election. And as we're getting more of the final vote tally in, the big news, I think, was yesterday, was that Trump actually got less than 50% of the popular vote again. So he didn't, and we're not talking about just all voters. Like yesterday, I said a fourth of all citizens. We're talking about all people who voted, not all eligible voters this time. And of people who voted, he's got just a smidge less than 50%. And that just, for him, that takes away a lot of his cachet in his own mind. So that's encouraging. I'm seeing some encouraging things here with his, and it's not all him who does this stuff. He doesn't have time. Like, he's keeping us busy just fighting all this stuff off all day, every day. But he's not coming up with it. Don't forget that. This is Steve Bannon. This is Stephen Miller. The same guys that it's always been. And they've got these evil minions running around looking up everything for them and coming up with people. And this is who's doing this. Don't think Trump's just sitting around as we're a little over a week away from Thanksgiving and coming up with all of these crazy characters. The Fox News guy who paid off someone for the sexual assault. And this was an assault, not just an illicit affair or hush money. This is someone who actually went to the police a few days later. And this was 7 years ago, relatively recently. And these are just bad guys, every single one of them. And Trump doesn't know who these people are, but he has people just finding them, just digging them up. And just to have them shot down, even if it's just Matt Gaetz, that would be awesome. But you knock a few of them down for the senators to just say, we have just a little bit of dignity here. We have a little bit of self-respect. I'm just curious to see what would happen as the days roll on. Usually you like to have your cabinet picks locked up, and their hearings are just a show. You know they're going to be confirmed. But the longer this drags out, it's been 2 weeks now since the election, the more interesting it gets to me. So that's something I'm watching, a little pushback on Trump, hopefully. And also that 3/4 of the government can supposedly be fired without cause, with no rhyme or reason, with no analysis. These guys are lazy. Trump's lazy. Musk is lazy. Ramaswamy's lazy. They don't, because they never have to worry about the consequences of anything like you and I do. We have to analyze things, and we have to look at things, and we have to figure out not only what is going to happen, what's likely to happen, but what's the worst case scenario. These guys never consider anything of the sort. So I do love that these guys have no role, although they do have Trump's ear. They do need to appeal to the Senate or the House who controls the purse strings. They need to, at some point, have relationships with some of these people, and I don't think they're going to be able to. I don't think there is any interest on their part in doing so, and that's to our benefit, because it would take all of these people to be on board with the kinds of drastic changes that they're fantasizing about. So I don't see that happening either. And I don't know. And I think this is pretty encouraging, that they're just going so far off the rails that it's probably a little too far. And if nothing else, just to see who backs down first. We know Trump never backs down. We know that Congress always backs down. But this is kind of Congress's reason for existence. And they are feeling very threatened right now. The Republicans are. We know the Democrats are going to fight him every step of the way. But you get a few Republicans stand up to him, then it could get contagious, I think. Or I hope. I guess it's hope at this point. It remains to be seen. Okay, that's enough for tonight. And we will talk to you all tomorrow. See ya.